Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to another class of communication skills. Today we are having topic about nonverbal communication. As you have already gone through the difference between communication and conversation, so today we are going to know about the nonverbal communication. It is a type of communication, rather we can say that it is a type of effective communication. What we are going to know, we are going to know about the things what are included in non communication, how it works, what are the points, and what are the things that we should know about the non communication. So let's get started and let's see what does it have. So as you can see on the screens, that topic is about non communication. So the very point before getting on the topic, I want to let you know about the things which you should know. There is a person with the name of George Bernard Shaw. He was a dramatist, he was a story writer, he was very famous and literary figure. He was a very influential figure. And what is he saying? He's saying that I'm the most spontaneous speaker in the world because every word, every gesture, and every retard has been carefully rehearsed. What he's saying, what he's referring actually, he is referring to his answer. Like he's saying that if he is asked about a question, if he is asked about any kind of question, so he spontaneously answered that question, like within no time. And he is referring to the normal communication, that he not only answer with the words, but he answers with the body gesture, with the posture, with the facial expressions and body language and stuff. So what he is saying, that what actually he is saying is that he answers the questions not with words only. He is answering with his body language, and that is referring to non-verbal communication. He is explaining things with his non-verbal communication. So what I'm saying is that George Bernard Shaw was saying that why he was the most spontaneous speaker, because the thing is that he not only considering the words, but he is also considering the body language, the gestures and the postures and whatever include in the non-verbal communication. So that's why he is saying I'm the most spontaneous speaker. So what do we have? What are the points that we are going to go through, and what we are going to learn? So we are going to learn about the difference between the non-verbal communication. The very definition of non-verbal communication. That what is non-verbal communication? Then the second point is that what is the difference between the verbal and non-verbal communication. You should know about the difference, that what is verbal and non-verbal communication. The third point is that the importance and power of non-verbal communication. The significance, I would say rather, that what are the importance, what is the important role of non-verbal communication in our society, in our personal life, as well as in our professional life, and what is its power, how it's work, how it can be implemented, how it can influence the people. So types of non-verbal communication, what are the types? We are going to go through the types of non-verbal communication, forms of non-verbal communication, and the other point is the non-verbal communication around the world, like how non-verbal communication is done, like in the world, with different cultures, with different mindsets. I would say like different countries has different non-verbal communication, like Pakistanis, I would say we Pakistanis have different perspective about the non-verbal communication. We do have different postures, we do have different expressions for non-verbal communication. I'm not talking about the universal things, but we do have things that are different from rest of the countries. Like India, in India, when they are greeting someone, or when they are blessing someone, or when they are honoring someone, so they put both of their hands together, and they made them rise. So you will see later on how it works. Normal communication must be understandable, You know what? Normal communication is the most understandable communication in the world. I would say that we use 35% verbal communication and 65% we are using non-verbal communication in our day-to-day life, also in our professional lives. So let's see what we do have in the slides. Let's see. What is normal communication? So let's go through the points. What is normal communication? Normal communication is the process of communication through sending and receiving wordless messages. Like the thing is that normal communication are the message which don't have any sound, which don't have any words, but your message is transmitted completely clearly and concisely and blah blah. So the thing is that in normal communication you don't need any words, you don't need to utter a word, you don't need to utter a single sound, you don't need to use a single word or a single letter. So in normal communication you don't, in short, in normal communication you don't use any sound, any word, or any kind of other things in normal communication, I would say. What is the difference between verbal communication and non-verbal communication? So verbal communication, in verbal communication we do use sounds and words, and we utter sounds and words in verbal communication to transmit our message or information completely. But in non-verbal communication we don't need, or we don't use words, sounds, or uttering words. So we don't use any words or sounds in non-verbal communication. So what do we have? Let's see in the definition. As you can see, before moving forward, let's keep in your mind that verbal communication and non-verbal communication are the interconnected, and they operate together in communication. So what they are referring to is that both of them are interconnected. So like they, whenever you are going through non-verbal communication, so you have to make sure that verbal communication is interconnected with the non-verbal communication. They both are interconnected. Let's go to the other point. What do we have? As you can see on your screens, we have importance of non-verbal communication. So what are the importance, what are the significance of non-verbal communication, that it can help us in our day-to-day life, or in our professional life, or in our personal life. Verbal communication, verbal and non-verbal communication plays an important role in how people interact with one another. People are using around 35% verbal communication and 65% non-verbal communication in daily life. Non-verbal communication has also cultural meaning. What is Peter saying? Peter is saying that the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. So as I have told you before, that in the whole world, they are using 35% of verbal communication and 65% of non-verbal communication. As you can see on the screens, that what are the points that are included in non-verbal communication. We are going to go through each point, but before that, what is Peter saying? Peter is saying that the most important thing in communication, जो सबसे ज़रूरी point है कम्युनिकेशन के लिहाज से और इफ़ेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन के लिहाज से, कि हम वो चीज़ अंडरस्टैंड करें, हम वो चीज़ जो है समझें जो दूसरा बंदा बोल के नहीं बोलता. ठीक है, वो या तो अपनी चेहरे के तासुरात से, या अपनी आंखों के इशारों से, या अपनी बॉडी लैंग्वेज से कुछ ऐसा हमें एक मैसेज कन्वे कर देता है जिसको हमें अंडरस्टैंड कर लेना चाहिए. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, हम कोई बात कर रही हैं, किसी मीटिंग में हम बात कर रही हैं, एंड एक एम्प्लॉई है, वो बॉस को कोई awkward बात बोल देता है. ठीक है, तो बॉस जो है इंस्टेड ऑफ उसको मूव करना, इंस्टेड ऑफ रेडिक्यूलिंग हिम, ठीक है, वो जो है फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन से उसको ऐसा मैसेज कन्वे कर देता है कि वो सिर्फ सिर्फ वही नहीं, सारे लोग जहाँ वो जो लोग वहाँ पर मीटिंग में बैठे होते हैं, सारे लोग उसको डिकोड कर लेते हैं दैट के उसका क्या मतलब है, व्हाट ही इज़ कन्वेइंग. सो कम्युनिकेशन में हमने क्या चीज़ फोकस करनी है, हमने फोकस ये करनी है कि भाई अल्फाज तो ज़ाहिर है एक बंदा बात कर रहा है, कम्युनिकेशन कर रहा है तो अल्फाजों का इस्तेमाल भी करेगा, लेकिन हमें कम्युनिकेशन में ज़्यादा फोकस उन चीज़ों पे देना चाहिए कि जो बोली नहीं जाते हैं. ठीक है, तो वो क्या चीज़ें हैं जो बोली नहीं जाती हैं, वो हम जो है अभी हम पढ़ेंगे. वी आर गोइंग टू गो थ्रू द पॉइंट्स व्हाट दे आर एंड हाउ दे वर्क्स. So let's see what do we have. But before going to that, you already get the point. Before going into that, non-verbal communication has also cultural meaning. Like in non-verbal communication, we do have cultural meanings also. You will get to know what this cultural meaning is referring to. You will get the point when we'll be going through the cultural thing. So let's see in the next slide. As you can see on screens, what is the power of nonverbal communication? What is the significance and what is the power? How it can influence the people, how it can influence the society. So let's go through the definition. Nonverbal communication is the most powerful form of communication. More than voice or even words, nonverbal communication helps to create your image in other minds, and even you can express your emotions and feelings in front of others, which you are unable to express in words. What is he saying? He is saying that I'm actually referring to myself and I actually referring to the experts. So what they are saying, they are saying that in non-verbal communication is the most powerful, medium. Non-verbal communication can express those things which you cannot express through your words. As you can see in your day-to-day life, when you made a mistake, your parents get offended with it, and they don't use a single word, they don't mock you, they don't call you names, but instead of calling you names or mocking you, they use their facial expressions, and you can simply imagine that anger in your minds, and you can simply imagine the reaction and the consequences, what is going to happen after this, right? So with their facial expressions, they are showing their anger, and you can create the pictorial image in your mind of their anger. So what I'm saying is that in non-verbal communication, you can transmit your feelings completely, concisely, and correctly in your receiving end or in your receiving audience easily with an image. All right. So this is the most powerful communication type of communication through which you can express those things which you cannot express through your words. Most of the time you can see in your personal life that you don't talk in different situation, you just use your facial expressions or your body language or your posture to express your notion or to express your situation to your receiving end, and it explains your perspective completely. So I think you are getting my point, what I'm trying to convey. So it is the most powerful way of communication or medium of communication, normal communication. So basically there are two types of non-verbal communication. One is intentional, the other is non-intentional. What is intentional, what is non-intentional? So basically intentional is that you consciously you know that what you are doing, you are conscious about that, right? So intentional is that you know what you are doing, what you are conveying, what you want to convey. You already know that. So when you know about your message, about your information, you are conveying with your body language, gesture, posture, facial expression, and stuff. So that is called intentional nonverbal communication. What is unintentional nonverbal communication? So unintentional nonverbal communication is that when you are not in your conscious self. So when you are not in your conscious self, so it is clean and clear that your body is not in your in your power or in your grip. So most of the time, if you see that most of your gestures, most of your body language, most of your posture, they are spontaneous. Like, you have no idea what you are doing, but you are doing it. Like, they are a kind of I would say spontaneous reactions or reflections, rather I could say. So what I'm saying is that when you are spontaneously answering with your body language or with your posture or with your facial expressions or any kind of normal communication, so that is the unintentional body language or non-verbal communication, I would say, rather. So unintentional non-verbal communication is that when someone is beating you and you raise your hand to stop him, that is a kind of spontaneous or unintentional non-verbal communication. And when someone is blaming you or something like that, and you just spontaneously raise your paw, so that is how you do the things with spontaneity. So this is a kind of unintentional, like you don't know what you are doing, it is something spontaneous, right? So let's go to the other point. Let's see what do we have. Form of non-verbal communication. What are the forms that are included in non-verbal communication? So first of all, we do have eye contact. The other is facial expression, as I have already explained you guys, but we are going to know with the pictures that what they are and how they works. Postures, haptics or touch. We are going to explain this haptics or touch, how it works with gesture and with personal space. What is personal space, we are going to know later in the next slides. So what is eye contact and how it works? So eye contact, a key characteristic of normal communication, expresses much without using a single word. In American culture, maintaining eye contact shows respect and indicates interest. Eye contact can also establish the nature of relationship. So basically, in America, when you do not when you're not having an eye contact with your opponent, or with your companion, or with your employee, or with your colleague, so they consider it as a offensive thing in America. So what I'm saying is that as I was saying about the cultural thing, so non-verbal communication also includes the culture thing, and this is how it works in America. Like in Pakistan, rather I would say in Pakistan, specifically in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, when you have an eye contact with person, so they are considering as an offense. They are considering as an offensive act. Like, why he's staring in my eyes? Specifically, when we have an eye contact with female gender, so they consider it as a harassment, like nowadays, about the thing, they consider it as an offensive act. So what I'm saying is that in America, this thing is completely different. When you do not have an eye contact with the colleague or with the female or whatever the situation is, so they are offended with this kind of act. So what I'm saying is that eye contact is also a kind of normal communication which can express your different perspective or notions. Let's go to the other point. What is facial expression? As you can see on your screens, so these are the different facial expressions we have in it. Like this is the other facial, this is the other one, this is the other one. Happy, surprise, I don't know what he is conveying, angry, confused, exhausted. As you can see, he is posturing like he's mocking someone, he's sad. So in facial expressions, you will get to know about the person's perspective, that what he is expressing or she is expressing about what he is feeling or she is feeling right now. So facial expressions are the key characteristic of nonverbal communication. Your facial expressions can communicate happiness, sadness, anger, or fear. As I have said, you can express your anger, your fear, your sadness with your facial expressions. So let's go through the other point. Posture. It is the your body position, and you explain different things with your postures. So what I'm saying is that let's go through the point what posture is communicating. Posture and how you carry yourself tells a lot about how you walk, sit, stand, hold your head. Not only indicates your current mood, but also your personality in general. For example, if you cross your arms while standing, you indicate that you may be closed off and defensive. Meanwhile, walking with your head down and avoiding eye contact with others may indicate shyness. Uh, like it depends accordingly, culture to culture. It depends accordingly, with country to country. But in a general perspective, or rather, we can say in a universal perspective, these are the things when you do with your body, with your hands, with your legs and stuff. So these are things which can be considered generally. So let's go through the other point, that is haptic or touch. So what is haptic or touch? How it works? Haptic or touch is basically the body language. So it is basically the body language with which you express your notions to the next person. So normally we do handshake with others to give respect, or to show respect. We hug each other to give respect or to show respect. Like as I said, it accordingly depends culture to culture or country to country. So in Pakistan, when we meet up with persons, so we do hug each other to give respect. Like specifically in KPK, when you don't hug someone, specifically I'm trying about the men's. In KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, when you don't hug your colleague, your mate, or your cousin or your father properly, so I'm referring to male gender. So they get offensive that why he didn't hug me, because it is an offensive act. Like if you forward your hand only for a handshake in KPK, so they consider it as a offensive act. But comparatively in America, if you forward your hand to shake with another person to the next person, so it is a kind of a good gesture or respect for the person, rather hugging him, or they don't prefer the hug thing in America. So what I'm saying is that these are the non-verbal communication with which you convey your message to the receiving end. So let's go through the points definition. What we have: haptic communication is communicating by touch. Touch or haptics is the characteristic of non-verbal communication and used when we come into physical contact with other people. So basically it is the physical contact with other people with which you show your affection or your respect to the other person. For example, we use handshake to gain trust and introduce ourselves. Like this is a very general thing, as you can see. This is a very general thing in our society. Gesture, this is a kind of body language with which you show something to the society or to the people or to the next person. Like when we showing victory, so we made a V shape with our fingers to show the other person that our victory, about our victory. So what do we have? A gesture is a characteristic of nonverbal communication in which is visible body actions communicate particularly message. Gesture include movement of the hand, face, or other parts of the body. So again, you made different gestures with your hand, with your face. Like when you smile to someone, so it is considered as a a humble thing for the next person. So what I'm saying is that when you do different things with your face or with your hands to show your perspective or your notion that what you are feeling at that time. All right, so let's see how these common gesture works. As you can see on your screens, Imran Khan. So Imran Khan is gesturing, showing gestures about his perspective or about his point with his hand. So he might be saying that Allah is one, and we are only praying to one God, and something like that. So what I'm saying is that this is my perspective about him. So this is something which we do with our gestures. So what he is doing, this is Nawaz Sharif. He is doing that. We are all together with his hands. He is showing unity. So this is how it works. So this is Parvez Musharraf, our major journal. He was the chief of army staff, and what he is saying, he's saying he might be conveying a message that we are strong enough to face any kind of situation. What he is posturing about, this is what I can get from his posture. So this is a kind of respectable thing, and when you give respect to people or someone, so this is what we do. These postures, these gestures normally these are done in India. So I think he is Zardari. So what is personal space? The personal space is the bubble between you and the next person. It is your comfort level. It is your comfort space between your next person. So what it do? Let's go through it. Personal space is your bubble, that the space you place between yourself and others. This invisible boundary become apparent only when someone bumps or tries to enter your bubble. So it actually you actually feel uncomfortable. You actually feel that your bubble has been disturbed or destroyed by the next person when he or she tries to interact, or when he or she tries to get closer to you. So that is how it works. As I was saying that this is a kind of nonverbal communication in Pakistan, with which we shows happiness and respect. It's a day of Eid, and on our day of Eid, we normally hug each other, to congratulate congratulate each other that we are bestowed with the day, and we have been together. We have been get together with each other, and they are congratulating each other. So this is how it works. Nonverbal communication in Pakistan expresses happiness, respect, love for others. This is what it do, as I have told you before. Non-verbal communication around the world. What non-verbal communication do around the world and how it works? Let's see. Non-verbal communication in China. The Chinese don't like being touched by strangers, therefore don't make any body contact. So as I was seeing that different countries have different cultures. And the thing is that non-verbal communication, it varies accordingly. So in China, when you touch someone, or when you do the touching thing in China, so they get offended with it. So the thing is that you don't need to touch in China each other formally. In India, what they are doing is, I was saying that when you are greeting someone, when you are giving respect or giving honor, or you are when you are feeling honored, so in with the normal communication, you do this, greeting thing or posture to show respect or honor, or something like that, that you are happy being around. As I was seeing that in USA, when you shake hand, so it is a kind of respect, that it is a kind of honor for you to shake hands. Non communication must be understand, but what this was, a kind of non communication. This was a chicken dance done by the UK team, the England team, and I was not understanding their body language, but they were communicating something with their dance. So I have no idea what they were doing at that very time. So. But I'm sure that they were definitely communicating a message, but I was not able to decode their message. This is what I included. So if you are having any question, you can ask about the topic, and thank you for watching. Let me know about the topic, that what you have learned, and if you have any question, so you can mention your question in the comment section, so I will answer accordingly. Thank you.